Hi, I'm John Strohmeyer, and today I'm correcting the top 5 client mistakes about estate planning. There are a lot of things that people misconstrue and get wrong about estate planning, so today I want to go through the things that people get wrong most frequently. Mistake number 1. I don't need an estate plan. I don't have an estate. This is a common thought. Well, I don't have sprawling mansions and acres and acres of land and a Bugatti and a Ferrari and 3 or 4 Bentleys. Therefore, I don't need to do any estate planning. That's not the reason you do estate planning. The reason we think about this, it's not because you have a lot of stuff. In fact, it becomes even more important when you don't have as much, is that your family is going to waste time, effort, and money trying to pick up the pieces once you're gone if they don't know what to do. The estate plan is your chance to put all those pieces in place for them so that they know what they should be looking for and where it is. Mistake number 2. My last will control what happens to my 401k and my IRA. Well, this isn't true because 401ks and IRAs are a class of property we call non-probate property. These are items that don't follow the will. Explicitly, they are going to follow whatever their beneficiary designations say. So if your 401k says leave it all to my aunt, but your will says leave it all to my spouse, that 401k is going to go to your aunt and your spouse won't see a part of it. This is probably going to cause a problem. So not only are we making sure that a will or possibly a revocable trust is in place to direct what happens to your probate property, we're also making sure that your non-probate property, so the things that have beneficiary designations, are also going to go to the right place. Mistake number 3. I don't need to tell anybody about this. They'll just figure it out, right? No, you want to make sure that even if you're not giving everybody all the details, you do want to make sure people know where to look and what to look for. Having a big red binder that says, in case of emergency, please open, is a good way to make sure people know and can find out what needs to happen. Now, you don't need to let everybody know everything. You probably have reasons for picking the people you're going to pick as either your executors, your trustees, or your other agents. But you do want to let the people know who are going to be in charge that they're going to be in charge. Mistake number 4. I don't need to do any planning because I'm not that complicated. Well, complicated isn't always the reason we're looking to do something. It's common for most of our families to have a fairly straightforward general plan, many of which look fairly similar. Leave it all to my spouse, otherwise leave it to my kids in equal shares. While that's not usually the hard part, the hard part comes in the details of our specific lives. No two families are alike, and so part of the planning process is making sure that we've put all of those assets together and we know where things are. Again, we want to get this lined up so people know where to look for things when the time comes. Mistake number 5. They can just look at my statements and in my email to figure things out. Well, they probably can, but the problem is going to be that they're going to have to find a way to actually access your Gmail account and access your statements. More and more of us are using online paperless statements that nobody can log into. So part of planning is also going to be lining up where those assets are so people know where to look. I know I'm sounding like a broken record on this, but it's true. We have to know where to look to clean things up later on. So what we're looking at is not just where are things, but how can people figure it out later. So we had 5 mistakes, running back through them quickly. 1, you don't need a plan because you don't have an estate. Well, everybody's got some sort of estate, and if it helps you understand what's going on, think about it as stuff planning instead of estate planning. Mistake number 2, my last will controls my 401k. Well, in most cases, it's not. Your IRA and your 401k are going to follow their beneficiary designations and won't follow what happens in your last will. Mistake number 3, not telling anybody about this. This is something where you want to make sure that the people who are going to be involved in your plan know what to expect. Generally, people don't like surprises, and having them come after you're gone is not a good time to deliver a surprise. Mistake number 4, I'm not really that complicated. That's true. Most families have a similar general plan, leaving it all to their spouse, otherwise to their kids. But it's in those details where the complications come up because we need to make sure everything lines up for them. And finally, they can just look at the statements and in my email. Well, while we'd like to think that this is easy and people can piece things together, they're going to have a hard time logging into your accounts and getting access to your email if they don't know where your passwords are and what you need and where they even need to look. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.